Hi, everybody, and welcome to our summertime astro clearing circle. It's been an interesting post-solstice time, and we are happy to have those of you who have escaped the sun and come inside and joined us. And of course, we're happy to also to share with those of you who are going to be watching or participating with the recording. And so welcome. Valanne and I are thrilled to have you here. Before we begin, we just wanted to remind everybody that we do this in real time with you. So we're going to be doing, Valanne is going to be working with the current astrology, the what you might call the kind of the day-to-day, which we don't usually do in a reading. Certainly the reading is more about you. And so when we do astro card reading, that's really about focusing on you, your questions, what insights you're looking for, what next steps, maybe big changes in your life, maybe big shifts, or maybe small ones, and those are important to you. So we do that, and you can reach out to us and ask us about doing that for you personally, or for a gift for a friend, kind of a special event thing for a birthday or something like that, or a fundraiser or a group. We love doing groups. We're going to be doing one for our current course participants on the 22nd. And so that is part of kind of our big picture stuff that we love to do. And tonight, Valanne is going to talk about how the moon is impacting us. We don't talk about the moon so much anymore in our astro clearing circles, but this one is an important one. And certainly if you've been feeling the energies lately, you know that there's a lot going on. And before Valanne reads the message from Zora, let's just take a moment to find our presence, find our here-ness, and our embodiment, because that can be a little bit challenging these days. We're going to talk a little bit about grounding, and we're going to do some grounding before we get started. So just take a few moments with your fingertips, thumbs to fingertips, just rubbing gently one or both hands, and bring your attention to your breath. So we're in this powerful time of Gemini, lots of air energy, lots of fire energy, with Aries in the sky. And so lots of masculine energy. So bringing ourselves back to the simple connection to the earth, and take those hands and just smooth out your thighs. Just rubbing your thighs a little bit, very gently, back and forth, very softly, being present. Bring your attention to your feet on the floor, wiggle your toes a little bit. And notice your breath. Bring your attention to your breath. If you're sitting in a chair, really allow the back of the chair to touch your spine. Roll the shoulders back a little bit. Drop the tips of the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen your neck a little bit, lifting the occipital ridge, the back of the neck, up slightly toward the ceiling. And breathing in through the nose and out through the nose gently. Don't try to make your breath anything. Just being aware of it. And hopefully you have some water, some hydration with you. If you don't, I'm going to encourage you to pop out and get some. And just be present to yourself here for a moment, present to yourself, present to your breath. Just allowing your hands to be still now on your thighs for a moment. Wiggle your toes one more time and really drop the feet into the floor. Just being present with yourself. And as we do this, I'm going to ask for everyone's tacit permission to do energy work with you today. If you would prefer that I do not include you in the energy work that we're doing today, please say no thank you, either in the chat to everybody or to me privately if you prefer. At any time, if we're asking questions or asking for feedback and you don't feel comfortable sharing with the group, please feel free to just send that to me personally or privately, or don't share it all. That's perfectly fine. Whatever you feel. You are the leader here. You are the guide of your own experience. And we are just going to hold this sacred container. And to set the tone for that container, I'm going to pass it over to Valanne to share Zora's special message for all of us. And I'm noticing, I don't know if you're noticing, Valanne, because I know that you, when you do this, you're not you. Well, you are you, but anyway. But I don't know if you've noticed their tone change in the last couple of messages.
No, and actually I did this days ago,
Yeah.
like quite a
Yeah.
few days ago now. And so actually I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait to read this. This will be,
Yeah,
this will
yeah.
be
Well,
interesting.
let's see how everybody feels about it. I have the benefit of not having done the channeling and reading it, like receiving it for the first time when I get it for edits, for just for language edits, and for for clarity in case there's like a comma that needs putting in or something like that. I don't mess with Zora's message, obviously. But I'm really honored to be able to read it, and sometimes it hits me quite strongly as this one did, and I'm just interested in there's been a slight more kind of active tone change, in the last line is consistent with what they said in our June Inner Wisdom Circle message as well, and I'm just finding it quite interesting, the way that things have shifted for them. So let's just see.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd be interested to hear what other people think or what I think when I read it. Um, okay. So here goes. Greetings. At this time, you are all offered a glimpse into a future that is still unfolding. For those of you who recognize the transformation that is occurring for your human collective, know that each of you on your individual path is also seeing unfolding of your own individual new cycle of evolution. This opportunity brings to each and every one of you an ability to create your own future in these energies, recognizing the end of cycles and the beginning of cycles in your own experiences. This opens up for you a new way of responding and interacting with the universal energy that is always available to you. This is a chance for each of you to experience a new energy that includes a shift in consciousness, opening you to an expanded understanding of what it means to live a physical life, and yet at the same time integrate the non-physical more directly and more precisely than ever before. Play with this energetic opportunity, for it is marking your future as you expand your own understanding of your unique and cherished place in the cosmic web of light that not only surrounds your planet, but permeates all cosmic forces, allowing for the greatest potential to manifest as you open to the possibilities laid out before you. You are blessed, you are honored, and you are guided through this potent time of evolution and change.
So gorgeous. So just sitting, and particularly with that final sentence, this sense of being honored with the gift of a time that many might feel is difficult, excruciating, chaotic, challenging. So just sitting with that. I love that. I love that message.
Okay, so we are in for an exciting, dynamic month. They all have been in 2025, but here we are in a different energy of that. What is occurring is the planet Uranus, which is the planet of breakthroughs, awakenings, innovation, our individuality, our authenticity, a sense of freedom or liberation, also higher mind and higher frequencies, is moving into Gemini. And Gemini is curiosity, it's thinking, it's engaging in ideas, it's being social, it's sharing, networking, it's being adaptable and flexible. So there's all sorts of, and it's fast paced. That's very important because Uranus is kind of lightning bolt fast, that kind of suddenness. So we are stepping into this new energy, July 7th, and we've until November, and then it's back in fully in April 2026. That's part of the theme I'll talk about tonight, is this back and forth. So what this is bringing to us is a whole new energy. And any of you that have been with, like, it's been almost a year that we've been kind of dipping into this new change for 2025. This is the last of the outer planets that is changing signs. So in July, for the first time, we're in the new energy. So I'm going to dive into Uranus, and I'm going to talk about that, what that means for us in general, because it's dynamic and places we've never been before energetically. So it's really an invitation and an opening, and yet it may be somewhat disruptive in the way that we have always done things or have thought about ourselves. So because Uranus is sudden and it invites new awakenings and new awarenesses to who we are being guided at this time. We're being offered the opportunity to explore new perspectives and higher frequencies. And Uranus, if anyone knows astrology, Uranus has had to be the higher octave of Mercury, and Mercury actually rules Gemini, and Mercury is about the mind. It's about our perception, our thinking. So all of a sudden we have this new possibilities of some form of, I'm going to say, catalytic breakthrough. And Mercury, Gemini is also about our voice. So we're getting this, I'm going to say, this call to express our own unique voice, whatever that means. And I don't even mean it has to be speaking. Express who we are. And Uranus wants us to be authentic. Wants to express the truth and of our own authenticity. Becomes very important at this time that we're starting to really honor that as we're moving into this future energy. So Uranus is always, some of the key phrases for Uranus is expect the unexpected. That's, if I'm doing a chart, or that's just something you'll hear. And so what Gemini is about information. So this is a time to be open and aware that we may be getting in new information coming from unexpected places. We're going to, it's as if we're getting this new information that's actually meant to shake up our old stories, our old perspectives, anything it's like ideas that have become stagnant need to be dissembled so that we can make room for the new that's coming in. And this can feel disruptive. It's like, wow, I didn't see that coming, and now I've got to reevaluate everything I've ever thought. Or now I have to reevaluate how I think about myself, or what my perspective is for the world. And it can be, and I've had personal experience with this, very, can be jarring in a way when you don't understand what's going on, but understanding the astrology, say, okay, there's something old that has taken root and it needs to be vibrated, shaken out of its stuckness, out of the stagnancy of some old ideas, old stories, old perspective on the world and ourselves. So Uranus, that's Uranus's job. Okay, I'm going to throw in some new ideas, throw in some new information, and as we recognize, oh, that disruptive idea or that different way of looking at things is actually for us to align more authentically to who we are. That's the job of Uranus. So we have to be aware that at this time, this is an invitation to look at the expanded levels of consciousness. Recognize we may have unexpected downloads. We may have new connections to how we get information from the unseen world, from the, clairaudience, clairvoyance, any way that energy can come in. And it makes me think, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, the interest in things like the telepathy tapes. It's like things are breaking into the mainstream that probably a year ago would have been, I'm not going to say dismissed, but would have had a smaller audience. And all of a sudden there's information that's coming in that is around a different frequency, that is around a different way of even exploring consciousness that's becoming very mainstream. This is just the beginning. And here's the thing about Uranus and Gemini together. So Uranus is the lightning bolt, the flash of insight, the flash of awakening. Gemini is fast, fast, fast. And so all of a sudden, if things haven't felt speedy enough, things are going to be even more sped up. And it's going to be electrifying energy in many, many ways. And this is what Sasha made reference to grounding. It is going to be for all of us to find ways when we find ourselves being overstimulated by too many ideas, too many things going on, even ideas that are stretching us into this new way of seeing the world, this new frequency, we're going to have to find ways to stay grounded. That's going to be, that's part of our self, it'll be our self-care. And to really recognize that all of the potential disruption, all the new awakenings, the insights, this is us seeking some form of liberation from the old. Uranus is the new, Uranus is the future, Gemini is ideas, Gemini is communication. So there's so much that we're going to be energetically informed by, and that to know that anything that's actually shaking us up, bringing us new energy, allows for our own personal breakthroughs and to welcome in the change. That's our own personal liberation, to be true to who we are. So it's going to be an incredibly dynamic time and a really interesting time. And also and this is just sort of the caveat, there may be stuff coming up that, wow, I didn't see that coming. I'm watching for disclosure. That's my key thing. I'm really watching over the next couple of years what happens with beings that are not of the human variety. I'm excited by that, but that's my own personal excitement. But that's part of this whole thing. New information coming in that may shake people up.
Love that. So let's go back to this sense of potentially being mentally overstimulated, feeling scattered, maybe having a buzzy mind, maybe having a sense of, excessively busy hands, or this constant movement, or having restlessness, physical restlessness, or inability to settle, let's say at sleep time or even during the day, to sit still, find stillness, or emotional overwhelm. So where is that overstimulation for you? Is it to some extent mental? Is it to some extent physical? Is it to some extent emotional? It might be all three. Just check in for yourself and throw a word into the chat that comes to mind for you, whether it's something that a word that best describes your experience of this energy right now. If it's nothing, don't worry about it. But if it's scattered, overstimulated, buzzy, busy, overly busy, emotional overwhelm, stress, anxiety, feeling pushed, any of those kinds of things, just come up with whatever that is for you. And once you've done that, we're just going to come back to our grounding for a moment. So again, taking the hands, rubbing them together. A few minutes ago when we started, we did thumb and fingertips. I was just reminded by watching one of our participants here take care of one of the creatures that they care for, that can be a piece of it, right? To feel the pull, the drag in terms of being pulled on to overcare for others, right? That's a piece with Jupiter being where it is. We're not talking about that tonight, but that overcare piece can be part of this overstimulation. So just rubbing the hands together. When your hands feel a little bit tingly, take one hand, place it on your solar plexus, so it's just above the belly button, and one hand on the throat chakra. If it's not comfortable for you to place your hand on the front of the throat, just place it on the back. This is an exercise that we did recently in our Inspired Awakenings circle, which is part of our 4-circle series that we're doing this year for 2025, co-creating 2025. And this is a Sedna reconnection ritual, part of a Sedna reconnection ritual series that is a bonus that we added into our co-create. And I really like this one. It's about visibility, but it brings visibility into the aspect of sound, into not only hearing the truth of others, but also speaking your own truth. So that's that whole piece around the 5th chakra. And holding the hand at the solar plexus, that is your power place, your place of identity. So just allowing maybe a little bit of rubbing or gentle movement with the hands, and getting that energy that you just brought to your hands stimulating into the solar plexus and the 5th chakra at the throat. And when you're ready, just doing a little hum. You can change octaves if you like. And as you do that, I'm going to move on to the next one, and Valanne's going to carry on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear and rebalance you for any of that scattered, stressy. I love that image, Valanne. That wasn't in there when I was messing with the slides earlier.
I know. I put it in there because Saturn crystallizes things.
Oof, oof.
Saturn is crystallizing Neptune's spirit.
Oh, I love that. I actually have an amethyst in the other room that I might go and get in a moment.
Bigger than that.
I'm going to work on this.
So, what's happening now is we are setting up, we're actually, as of the 7th of July, when Uranus goes into Gemini for the first time in 80 years, we are now in this new cycle of new energy. So some of this is going to be repetitive because I know I've talked about Saturn and Neptune, quite a bit, because it's part of this new energy. So the Uranus energy in Gemini, that mental stimulation, that's a part of the new energy. The Saturn, Neptune together in Aries is part of the new energy. And Aries is about the, I am in the divine self, the passion, the energy, the initiation, the courage on the other end of that can be impulsive and impatient. Saturn is about manifestation. It's about focus, responsibility. It's about discipline. It's about setting boundaries, stepping under own authority. There's this place of real commitment to that. Neptune is about our dreams, our ideals, our visions for ourselves, our imagination, our creativity, our compassion. It's all of things that, if Saturn is reality, it's all the things that we have been taught, which is not true, of course, is not reality. Saturn, you can knock on the table. Neptune is beyond that. And of course, we now realize, especially, all of us in Circle, that Neptune is a reality. It is, we are living in this co-creative world of unity, of energy. So what's happening is these two are coming together in Aries, and they are now in Aries. And so we're integrating our spirit, our compassion, our creativity into day-to-day reality. That's Saturn. How are we going to ground spirit? And I think that's part of simply being human, is that we are here to integrate spirit, to ground spirit, to bring that to connect to the earth. That's part of why we come in to be human. And of course, that's part of this whole new cycle that is starting in February 2026. We're dancing in the Neptune, Saturn, new energies that are going to be fully committed. We'll commit to them. The stars commit to them. February 2026, when they enter Aries at 0, Aries point. I know I've talked about this quite a bit, but where we're starting this whole new cycle, this cycle that has not been seen, as far as we know, in human history, certainly in written history before, not for thousands and thousands of years. We've never had this beginning of this new cycle. So how are we grounding spirit? How are we manifesting our dreams, our visions? And there's a reality that's happening right now, and it's a shift in how we see that. And I think I mentioned telepathy tapes. If no one's listened to that podcast, it's fascinating. But we are now being open to the idea that reality isn't what we've been told. Now, of course, quantum physics is decades and decades old now, but it's not built fully into how we feel about our reality. So this is a whole new way that we're going to manifesting this new sense of what reality is. And because we've never been here, because we're in these new energies that are shifting and changing, the only guidance that we have is for us to trust our inner guidance. Because the old ways will not hold, they will not be able to fully guide us into this shifting, new evolutionary path that we're on. It's too big a shift. We can't look at what's worked for us in the past as kind of our truth. We really need to trust that inner guidance. There's a piece about Saturn that Saturn, some of the key words is, oh, sorry, there's my home phone. I can't turn it off without running to the kitchen. that the Saturn, some keywords, but Saturn are fears. And keywords for Neptune is illusions or disillusionment or fantasy. And so we're in this new place that we're moving into. We are actually getting an opportunity to really face what are our fears, or what are the illusions, or what are our fantasies about how life has been. And now we're getting to open up to a deeper truth for who we are, our soul's truth. And part of that is in facing and even releasing old stories, old realities that actually aren't true at all. So that's part of this energy. And the other part, I've just put the keywords together, is embracing our dreams. Neptune is our dreams. Following your passion. Aries is our passion. What's right for me? What feels right? Not in a selfish way, but what aligns to what our own personal passions are. And committing to manifesting this unique vision for ourselves. That's the Saturn piece. These are the energies that we're really getting to work with, and we get to play with them for a few months, and I'll explain that in a minute, before we get to revise them and then jump into them fully in February 2026. So the other piece about this is that at this time, in this window, really over the course of this summer, we get a chance to start to act courageously to build the foundation that we want for our future, unique to us. What are you being called to? How are you finding the courage to act in ways that are really going to support the ideal future path for yourself? So we're in this place now where we can play with this. And so this is a huge part of this July, because in July, for the first time, we're in all the new energies. So it's an exciting time. And also there's pieces that may bring up fear and may bring up some challenges, once again, to open us up further to who we truly are and what we want to set for ourselves.
Brilliant. And I love, of course, that your analog ringing home phone came on just as you were talking about old things that we need to let go of. And I'm thinking to myself, would my grandchildren even know what that was?
I know, it's so funny. I keep it for my parents.
Right? Right? Like, would my kids even recognize the sound of that? What is that?
I know exactly.
What's that? Valanne.
What's that funny ring? Anyway.
Yeah, Matilda tells me, I love saying Valanne's name.
Oh, it's so cute.
Okay. She's so funny. So not to digress, but so we did a release for everybody of the energy of worthless, and that's been coming up in my sessions with people a lot, and also in my work for myself. So no matter how much work one does on self-worth, there's always more to be done, it seems, even after how long have I been doing this now? 3 years. But reconnecting to the truth of your affection for life. I love that. This is what we all reconnected to, your affection for life, whether it be ringing phones, or whether it be finding rocks on the beach, or whether it be, standing in a rainstorm, or last night for me, it was the fireflies. So whatever that is for you, that is a grounding feature. That's a grounding feature. So if we were going to sort of take courageous action, or embrace our dreams, or follow our passion. So those are all the things that Valanne was talking about in terms of this Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, right? This energy of the dream, and making the dream real, and having courage for that. What might be one small step, one small inspired action that you might take? And if you want to share it in the chat with everybody, please go ahead, because that can often be inspiring for others. But if you just want to share it with me personally, that's okay too. And if you don't want to share anything at all, because it's none of our business, that's all good too. Okay. But if you do share, I'm going to rebalance you for it and make sure that you hold for it.
So putting this all together for July, we are dancing in these new energies for the first time. And I was listening to a Pam Gregory video from, I think, 2 weeks ago, and she called this a dress rehearsal. We now get to experience in wherever it's landing in our own personal charts, being areas of life, we get to play with these new energies. And we get to do this all summer, but July is the first time we're truly in this. And so for certainly until September, all of the outer planets, that is Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and really Jupiter, which it only is a 1 year or transit through a sign, but it's still part of this. All of this is new in the way that it's lining up. And so there's something really potent about knowing that this is what we're living, so that we can actually, step into these new energies, not only for now. So what are we doing now, or what our intentions are we setting now? What are our actions we're taking now? Because this is for the future that will be fully engaged a year from now. Really, by the spring next year, we're fully in it. So we get this really exceptional time where we get to play, we get to dance, we get to try things out, we're going to have a chance in the fall to kind of reevaluate and review how things went and how we want it to move forward. But I'll just do the outer planets here as a sense, just a couple of words to let you know what we're playing in. And Pluto's in Aquarius. This is about our personal empowerment to be our own unique self. That's part of what we're living right now, to be authentically our own unique self. Neptune is heart-centered. It's about spirit connection. It's about compassion. It's in Aries. It's taking action, heart-centered action. How are we doing that in our life? Uranus is about new ideas. It's about the insights, the awakenings that come from an authentic sense of self, and new awarenesses, new awakenings to who we are authentically. And then Saturn is a commitment to our true self, and how are we going to act on that? Often about boundaries. How are we to create the boundaries so that we can be true to ourselves? These are part of the energies that we're exploring as they support each other in this month for the first time. So there's a piece here with all of this change that one piece that we can know is that life and that information and our reality is moving faster and faster. And we're not even at July 7th yet. So I actually can't imagine what it's going to feel like when Uranus gets into, I feel we're already feeling it, but I am going to suppose that it's even going to accelerate from there. And there is a saving grace, which I'll talk about at the end in terms of the speed. We're now attuning to a higher frequency energy, a higher vibration. So when we purposefully recognize that and really step into what the higher frequencies are, where we can call the feeling of peace and love and gratitude and joy, where we can consciously do that, we're literally raising the collective, inviting everyone to step into these new frequencies. And there's a piece that knowing that this is all new, and these are the big planetary energies that move us through generations and through eons, trusting our inner guidance, because the old perspective cannot lead us into the future. That is gone. And so where do we come back to? We just have to come back to where we're supported, and I'm going to say where we find collective, where we find family frequency, to allow us to trust the inner guidance for ourselves. And so this dance that we get to do over the course of the summer is this incredibly unique opportunity to kind of play in these energies, and play may come with its challenges, but to know that this is, we're putting our toe in the water. We're testing, there's new things happening that have never happened before. And to honor that for ourselves when we choose to step forward to initiate parts of our life in a different way, and step into perhaps the unsettledness of that, and yet to know that this is what's being asked or being supported energetically with the planets. And the planets are making a really unique pattern that are incredibly supportive, and they're going to be helping us over the next couple of years. It's something that's going to come back over the next couple of years. So it feels like cosmically, it's like the planets, the universe has our back, has with all the changes that are happening, and they're going to be dynamic, and there's going to be a lot of external stuff that we just need to find grounding and not get caught up in. And at the same time, there's this sense of flow that's going to be offered to us. And the one piece with the speediness that I wanted to bring up is that there's a number of planets that are going to be going retrograde over the course of July. And so retrograde is when a planet seemingly turns around, slows down and turns around, and it brings a chance to basically reflect, turn inward. It's less of a busy time, it's more of an internal reflection time. So just to say that things are speeding up, but at the same time, we're going to be called to drop in and quiet ourselves and slow down the external so that we can really connect.
Okay, so what everybody's going to find is in the chat, I am going to be putting in an I am statement. And that I am statement is the statement that I have balanced you for based on what you put in the chat. Okay, so that statement brings you to 100% support for the thing that inspired action that you're looking to take. And all of you were, almost all of you were below 50% holding when I started. And now with this statement, this I am statement rebalanced for you, you're at all of you are holding at 100% for your intention.
So now it comes to the moon. So Sasha and I have not done moon stuff in, I think it's been years now. I don't know when we when we switched over. So we have a Leo new moon on July 24th. And as we all know from our many circles before, it's the perfect time to set intentions. So the interesting piece is this new moon is tying into all the new energies that I've talked about. The Pluto, which we didn't go into a lot right now, but the Pluto, that sense of our authentic self and finding the power, the empowerment, being authentic. The Saturn Neptune, that inspired action, that manifesting our dreams. The Uranus, the new ideas, the opening, the awakenings, the inspired awakenings. And I don't usually put a chart, but there's this beautiful pattern that I just did a screen grab off the chart itself, the new moon chart. This is called a cradle. And so there's all the blue lines are supportive. They're flow. They're allowing all of this energy to flow together. And of course, my caveat with all of this, since we started talking about this, is choosing what we want to flow. There's going to be an ease of energy, but we want to make sure that the ease of energy is flowing where we want it to go. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. So we want to make sure there's no judgment around this, but there is a flow. So part of this is that the beautiful blue lines are this opportunity of flow. So what do we want? How do we want to be authentic? What inspired action do we want to take? All of this pieces. And into this comes the new moon at 2 degrees of Leo. And it sets up this pattern. So the cradle is supportive energy. It's this place where we're held. And I like to think about being held, in the hands of God, the goddess, whatever it is, just the universe holding us as we are not only stepping into this new energy, but we are being, this new moon is in Leo, and Leo is our self-expression. It's our open heart. It's connecting with joy, connecting with our sense of self. And Pluto in Aquarius is about really showing up in our power, stepping into our authentic way of being, recognizing that if we are our own individual self, we are assisting in raising up the collective. These are, in the red line, is called an opposite. It creates tension. They're pulling. And what happens in this new moon is that we are being supported to step into our authenticity, to find our own personal expression. And Sasha, whatever you said earlier about joy, I can't remember what it was now. Actually, I'm going to go back and have a look at it because this made me think of it right at the beginning. Oh, affection for life. The Leo is that big open-hearted affection for life. So as soon as you put that in, I went, that's exactly what this new moon is about. And how we are empowered to really find that for ourselves. So why I thought it was important to focus on the moon right now is because we're getting this opportunity when the new moon comes up, to really set intentions for the future. They're going to be fully in flow next year. So once again, we get this time to play with this. We get this time to set ideas, set intentions of how we want our unfolding to allow us to be really open to express, you know, our own passion, our own joy, and doing that authentically to who we are. And Leo's about shining our light. So how do we want to shine our light as we step into this higher frequency, this higher energetic vibration? How do we choose to do this? It's a lot about choice that we're being offered here. And Pluto is about total transformation. So here we are totally transforming our own personal expression, our sense of empowerment, and moving that into our vision for ourselves in the future. So there's this incredible opportunity for us. And the tension created, we may be seeing externally a lot, well, we are, I mean, but it's going to keep going. The outer tensions. But when we feel a connection to an outer tension, which all of us get triggered at different times with different things going on in the world, when we really align to an outer tension, that can be a guide for each of us in our own way to explore and heal our inner tensions. And I'm saying that specifically astrologically because at the midpoint, this part of this triangle here is Chiron, which is the wounded healer, the mentor, the teacher that guides us to do our own healing. So all of this is built into this new moon. So there's a piece where we just want to take advantage of it. And the one last piece, I was in class this week, and I believe this is where Rick said this. He said, we're not moving into the future is moving into us. And when I heard him say that, what I heard was we're not moving into the higher frequency. The higher frequency is moving into us, and where we want to be open, inviting, and stay, I'm going to say, in the flow of it. I was going to say flexible, but I'm not going to use that word. In the flow of this change. This is a powerful, powerful opportunity for us. Anyway, so July 24th, make a point of setting an intention for this new moon.
Beautiful. Thank you, Valanne.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to just encourage everybody to take a look at what was shared in the chat for you. And this is the I am statement that we're going to be playing with or settling into. And if you want to know afterwards, when we're off recording, what your percentage was, what you were holding initially, everybody's at 100% now holding for your intention. But if you wanted to know where you started, I'm happy to let you know that. But for now, we're going to go back to our grounding and just thumbs to fingertips, just being present to the body, thumbs to fingertips, and then taking those hands and rubbing them back and forth gently on the thighs. Bringing attention to the lower half of the body, sinking into your chair, wiggling around a little bit to make sure that your seat feels good to you. Leaning back, if that's appropriate, allowing the shoulders to drop, lengthening the back of the neck. And being soft inside your mouth. So some yogic practices that I was trained in, you put the tongue to the back of the teeth, or the roof of the mouth. I don't do that. And Valanne and I have had a conscious movement teacher who suggested that creates a certain level of rigidity in the body. And so what we're looking for is soft in the back of the throat, and a soft palate, and a soft tongue. Sometimes you can do little blowing movements with the cheeks to just kind of soften them up a little bit. And we're allowing the face to soften, and we're going to get out of our own face. So we're going to move the energy back away from the eyes, into the back of the throat, into the back of the head. And if it helps you, go ahead and place one hand at your occipital ridge, which is right where the neck and the skull meet. There's kind of a little divot. And that can be a place of entry of spirit to the body, commonly. So just a gentle touching, reminding of that place, of bringing your attention to that place. And then closing the eyes and bringing the hands back into the lap if that feels good to you, or resting. If you want to keep your hand at the back of the head, please go ahead, or just resting the hands in the lap or on the thighs. And just bringing your attention to your breath. And in your mind's eye, bring to mind a tree. It might be an actual tree outside your window or in your backyard that you can or cannot see at this moment. It might be an actual tree that you have visited more than once or more than once somewhere else. A tree that is a picture of a tree that you've seen. Maybe it's particularly big or particularly beautiful in its shape. Or it could be the tree of life. The world tree. The Yggdrasil. Whatever it is for you, just bringing to mind this tree and allowing it to be present in the space with you. The tree has come to you. Just in the same way that these frequencies, these futures are moving into you, this tree has moved into your space. So it's with you in this moment. Just being aware of its energy in your space. Noticing your own body. Are you feeling attentive, aware? A little surprised at how easy it was to bring this tree into your space. At how present and grounding this tree is for you. We're going to presume at this moment that this tree is a female tree, a feminine tree, a mother or grandmother energy. Perhaps it mirrors your own energy, your own elder wisdom. Allowing this tree to be present for you, and then noticing that each time you inhale, its energy comes toward you and enters your body. So you are receiving its oxygen. And every time you exhale, your energy, your exhalation, your carbon dioxide is moving toward and into this grandmother tree. And so it is that you are gently breathing together. As you inhale, she exhales. As you exhale, she inhales. In a good and gentle way. There is no rushing. There is no needing to be anywhere else or anything else. And as you exchange this prana, this life force energy with this beautiful, still, and generous tree being, we settle into our I am statements. I am grateful. I am loved. I am light. I am in flow. I am me. I am flexible. I am the breath. I am connected to source. I am grateful. I am loved. I am light. I am in flow. I am me. I am flexible. I am the breath. I am connected to source. I am grateful, loved, light, in flow. I am me, flexible, connected to source. I am the breath. To sit in the quiet of this breath exchange with this tree being and feel into what's present for you. Welcome back after that. That is it for us for this evening for the month of July. Just a reminder that Valanne does do personal readings. So if you are finding yourself in one of those moments, those WTF moments, and you're looking to figure something out, or you're looking to get some guidance or some deeper insight into what's going on, do reach out to Valanne. And if you are interested in an Astro card reading, do reach out to us. We are always happy to share time and play in the astrology with the language of the stars. Enjoy your month, and we will see you in August.